Hello, Bretta Provost here. Thanks for joining me, and it is Tasty Tuesday, so I'm back in the kitchen by myself right now. But I don't have a specific recipe to do today, and I promise I will do my Dutch baby. So drop a 1 if you want to know the Dutch baby recipe coming up when I do a Tasty Tuesday. If you want to live, I would love for you to drop a 1 and you can put Dutch baby live. So I wanted to share a little bit. Hey there. Sorry that got interrupted, everyone. Again, Tasty Tuesday here. Peter Kim, thanks for jumping on. I said I wasn't going to make anything today, but I wanted to share a little bit about navigating the grocery store. So, navigating a grocery store, hello and welcome. Yes, I did get a little sun. The sun has been out. It has been glorious for all of us here in the Pacific Northwest. So happy to see the sun. And I just try to remind us or tell all of us who live here that we are not vampires and we can be in the sun. So, yay, longest winter ever. And was just going to share a little bit about how to navigate the grocery store. I know I've been sharing my weight loss journey with a lot of you. And even though I sometimes have a tendency to overeat, which I've been working on, and I know I've been sharing some of those tips and some of my journey about that with everyone. But I have always been an ingredient freak, and I am a label reader. And so I know that it can be kind of hard to navigate the grocery store. So drop a 2 in the comments if you feel like you have a hard time in the grocery store, knowing what to buy, what's actually good for you, and that kind of thing. So drop a 2. I know I have been there, and it gets harder and harder these days when there's so many different brands and different things like that, that it makes it difficult to navigate the grocery store. And I know we've heard some general things like, always go around the outside of the grocery store. But here are a couple of things to avoid in the grocery store. And one of my little trade secrets really is that I actually love Trader Joe's and some of the other specialty grocery stores. I know here, Pilgrim's and Whole Foods, they have Sunflower Market, some of those, and Natural Grocer. I don't know all of their rules, but I know Trader Joe's is absolutely one of my favorites because they have a whole list of things that kind of align exactly with me and my family, what we don't want in ingredients. So again, drop a 3 if you feel like, oh my goodness, I can't really figure out all these ingredients. So that's one thing that will help you when navigating the grocery store, is to go to those stores that have those products that they've already done a lot of the screening for you, so it makes it a little bit easier. So the number one thing that we like to avoid is trans fats or hydrogenated oils. And that is in a lot of cookies, bread, crackers, and it's just not a real fat. Fat can be good for you, but this fat totally messes up your system. I would do research on all of these yourself just so you can know what they're all about. I've done a lot of research. I'm not going to bore you necessarily with all the details here, but I would check it out and do a little bit more research. So that's the number 1. So if any of you, know about trans fats, give me a little thumbs up. And the second ingredient that we avoid, or I look to avoid, is MSG. And MSG is usually in a lot of dressings, especially like ranch dressing, cheese flavoring, and MSG is a tricky one. I would look that up as well because it comes in a lot of different forms. Anything that says hydrolyzed yeast, yeast extract, it usually doesn't say MSG. Hey, and for those of you who are brand new to the broadcast, when you jump on, let me know what city and state you are jumping on from, and let me know who you are. So I was just kind of giving some tips today about navigating the grocery store, and you get to be here in my kitchen. I am even going to open up my refrigerator in a minute. So I was talking about MSG, so that's a big no-no. So, and I know there's a lot of people who are allergic to MSG, so, you know, drop a 4 in the comments if you're allergic to that crazy thing. So that's very common. The third thing would be GMOs. And what's the big deal about GMOs? Well, again, I would do a little more of your own research about glyphosate, which is what is in all of the GMOs, so genetically modified organisms, are usually called Roundup Ready. And some of the components that are in Roundup that end up in our food, one of the major ones is glyphosate. And glyphosate has all sorts of, I mean, there haven't even been a lot of studies on it, but it's got all sorts of different things in it. And one of the big points is that it penetrates the blood-brain barrier, or it opens it up. And what that means is that a lot of different things that didn't used to be able to get into our brain or our gut now can pass through. So, you know, with a lot of the toxins that might be around. So that's another one to check out and look into. We avoid that. And then also artificial sugars. The only ones that I'm really about are stevia, the sugar alcohols, and then just regular old sugar in moderation. Some of those other sweeteners, you can again look into like aspartame and some of the other big ones, A-sulfate, A-potassium sulfate, aspartame, saccharin, not so great for you, but again, like do some more of your own research on some of those. And then artificial preservatives like sodium benzoate. So another one. So those are just kind of like my top 5 to avoid when you're in the grocery stores and you're reading labels. And some of my favorite products that we always have around the house, and if you have any other ones, like drop a 4 in the comments or post in the comments if there are any other big ones that you like to avoid. And I know that we have one of the little kids that's in our elementary school is allergic to dyes. So I think there's a lot of dyes, artificial colors, that you have to be really careful with as well. But I was going to get to some of my favorite products, and I'm going to even open up my refrigerator for you to look at. So some of the things just to kind of eat healthy and keep healthy things on hand is that I will always make, I like to have a little salad ready to go, and this is a little caprese salad that I'm about ready to eat. And this is one way that I cheat. I know this is from Costco, but it's like a fresh mozzarella that already comes with the oil in it. So Brooke, so great to have you on. Here's another nutrition expert, and she knows a lot about food and eating. So thanks for joining. I was just getting to some of my favorite products, and this is this fresh mozzarella. I'm sure you can get it in some other places where then I just add tomatoes and a little bit of balsamic vinegar and then salt and pepper to taste, which is always a good one to have on hand where you get some veggies and some protein in there. And like I said, those chips are a big one. Now, if you're going to go all out on a chip with guacamole, my favorite is Juanita's. However, I probably would guess that they have GMOs in them. But they are probably the tastiest chip that are fried. So, just there you have it. Yes, love fresh tomatoes at the farmer's market. We are getting to that season. They do have a totally different taste, I think, and I'm sure Brooke would say the same. So some of my other kitchen favorites are Kerrygold butter, and I know I didn't turn around the camera so you can read all of these. You just have to take my word for it. And this is a grass-fed butter. It has a totally different texture. It is not great for baking. I do like to make a mean apple pie, and it's not very good for baking, but it tastes delicious and grass-fed. And also Greek Gods yogurt. This is a honey flavor. I like the plain, but this is the one the kids like to eat. So, I mean, I figure if they're going to have something sweet, we actually do this instead of I'll just put a little bit of maple syrup, and then they dip a lot of their things in yogurt, because at least they're getting some protein and it's not as much sugar and not as bad for you. So that's another favorite. And then as far as like chips are concerned, this one is my favorite, one of my favorites. Food should taste good for a little multi-grain chip that's got flax seeds and a bunch of non-GMOs. That's also a Costco favorite, so you can find some of it at Costco. And also a pea protein that I always have around for on-the-go snack. The vegan pea protein is absolutely amazing, and this little travel packet is fantastic. And then I do like hemp hearts and chia seeds that are great to add to salads, yogurt, if you are doing oatmeal. So Sandy Watkins, another amazing person with nutrition and knows a ton about health and fitness and nutrition. We have some amazing ladies. Sandy, jump on. And so anyway, so here are a few little things that I'm, a little kitchen reveal is having like fresh fruit that's cut up and ready to go is another way to get everyone to eat fresh fruit. So we did some strawberries, blueberries, and some raspberries, which I actually like to add last minute because when you wash them, they tend to get soggy. So that's another one. And then having all those, so look, here it is, the refrigerator. I have some meals, like prepared meals that I like to have. We always have peanut butter and some healthy greens to add to a drink, eggs, and then I try to stock out tons of fruits and vegetables and have those condiments that are not so bad for you. So, and also way back in the back there was MCT oil, which is another great oil for that healthy fat. So that's a little peek into the kitchen as well as how to help navigate in the grocery store. And if you guys have, any other tips or if you want more info on any of this, so put your tips in the comments if you have any other great tips. I know Sandy, you're a good one, and Brooke, you are another good one for navigating the grocery store. That's what my tips, my big things for looking at in the grocery store. And then any other amazing, if you want any info on any of these products, just type info and I'd be happy to share some of that. So go out, have a tasty Tuesday, and we will catch up with all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining.